All right, I'm back. Black supremacy. Yeah, got cut off. They only gave me an hour earlier, so I only went for 1 hour. That's what happened. But yeah, any questions or comments, go ahead and cam up, send a request. But as I was saying earlier about the whole coronavirus thing, that we can't get distracted from building the kingdom of establishing black supremacy on earth. That's our focus. The destruction of this matrix and white supremacy should not be our concern. The white man's downfall is inescapable and unavoidable, and everything that is connected with that, everything that is attached to that, has to go with it. That includes anybody and everybody and all institutions as well. I talked about earlier about, the gloves and masks not really saving you from the coronavirus, because it can enter into all mucous membranes, and the eyes being one of them. The best solution is to stay out the matrix. Don't go out there. Stay out of the establishments. Only go to places that are necessary and essential. And, stay out the matrix. We've been saying that well before this coronavirus pandemic.
Black supremacy, God.
Black supremacy, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Black supremacy. I can't hear you. Kind of muffling.
Did you hear anything on here?
There you go. I hear you now. You hear me well?
Yeah, did you hear me earlier?
Yeah, I just heard you now. Black supremacy. Before I get started, I just wanted to pray to the King and tell you, man, thank you for changing my life, bro. I've been on you forever. You already know I'm black supremacy crazy. And I just wanted to thank you for changing my life, man. I really appreciate you, King Noble. You opened my eyes to a lot of things, and you put me on a different road and a different path, and everything just falls into my lap now, bro. I've been on this stuff since high school. You already know I'm from Oakland, California. I want you to come on my show this Sunday too, if you can, man. I have a free show. We got 3 hours of live time, and it's uncensored. You can say whatever you want and get up on there. But anyways, like you've been saying, man, I don't go to this white man's school. I don't pay his bill. I don't get his job. I don't get a license. I don't fuck a car. Fuck all that. I'm giving this shit up. And somehow, some way, every time I step out of this motherfucker, everything comes into my lap. Just everything just falls into place. I don't have to need for nothing. It just
Mm.
falls into place. Black supremacy. It just falls right into place, bro. And I don't deal with these motherfuckers at all. My family, they hate me. Oh, the fuck well. I'm the black sheep of the family. But everything I be telling them be facts. It always backfires on them, man. And I don't do none of this shit, bro. I don't believe in this white man system at all. People think I'm crazy. Oh, the fuck well. I don't care. I gotta hold the line. Khalid Muhammad always taught me somebody has to be strong. So I'm gonna be strong, man.
Yes, sir.
So I really appreciate you. You already know, man. I want you to come. The only question I have is if you would like to come on my show every Sunday. I want it to be our show. Y'all been on there once, and so I want y'all to come through and have some fun. And let's
Yes,
do this
sir.
black supremacy thing.
Absolutely.
So should I DM you?
Absolutely.
Or I'll DM you, man. I'll let somebody else get up on here, bro. But as far as the coronavirus, our black people have been through slavery. You've been through Jim Crow. You've been through black on black crime. Y'all out here panicking over some goddamn coronavirus. Get the hell up out of here. And as far as voting too, you ever since the white man been let your ass vote, ain't nothing changed. So don't you ever vote for none of this stuff. It's all a game. It's all a lie, bruh. Give up this fucking system. Give it up. Don't go to school. Don't get a job. Don't pay your bill. Say fuck this shit. Let it fall flat on his face, bruh. Take over some land. Fuck buying some land. Take over some land. There's no such thing as a black-owned business. How is it a black-owned business and we up under this white man system, bruh? How are we gonna fight him with this fucking money and this fucking economic shit when he can walk into a fucking building and he can excuse my language, he can walk into a building and his face is on there and he can print it out? Come on now, bro. We gotta think more about foundation. We gotta start putting our socks on before we put our shoes on. We gotta start putting our drawers on before we put our pants on, man. Foundation. And that comes with us having a defense mechanism, bro. And that's giving up this system. We the hamster on the wheel. The hamster, if the hamster get off the wheel stops. So with that
Mm.
being said, man, I'm gonna let somebody else go. Black supremacy.
Black supremacy, bro. DM me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yo.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Black supremacy, man. If somebody else want to get on, they can. It's all here. I'm here, man. I'm not paying this white man bill. I'm not going to his school. I'm not getting his job. I'm not doing none of that.
That's smart.
And you know what else is so crazy, King Noble? Well, the man that we supposed to be fighting, it's crazy. Like he respects it more than our own people. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd love for you to come on this Sunday. I'm gonna let somebody else get on so they can build and teach our people, man.
Yes, sir. You invited anytime, man.
You already know black supremacy.
Black supremacy.
Black supremacy.
Black supremacy.
Yeah, so that was very inspirational. The brother who was just on, that was very inspirational because you have actually helped a lot of people with their lives, and he also kind of moved me to actually go into that myself. Like, black supremacy is just so all encompassing. Like, once you really tap into that black magic, so many things can occur, from cooking to self-development, spiritual development. So I would like you to go into how one can gain access. Like, do you have any suggestions to those who are fearful, based off of the conditioning that this government has put our minds into? Like, they might be scared to fully enter into black supremacy. So I was wondering if you had any suggestions for those who have a little bit of spark to dive in, but what could take them to the next level?
It's going to be, I think it's just a major decision to just really start stepping out of the matrix, to start what I call the path of renunciation, where you literally are just renouncing and denouncing the matrix, different aspects of it, disassociating with matrix-minded people and with the institutions, no longer looking for validation. I mean, it's really common sense.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I know we've had personal builds on when we talk about men and them being more submissive to black supremacy and black enlightenment. Do you have any words for getting our brothers more on board with the movement?
Yeah, well, the thing about it is, and I'm glad you mentioned that, is too many what I call chiefs and not enough Indians.
I agree. Yeah.
Instead of, you got all these individuals that feel like, they have superficialized leadership, and they have made, being some kind of leader a thing of egotism, and, not really willing to really humble themselves and learn.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
take heed to the gift that the ancestors have given to them through the knowledge and wisdom of KNBS.
Yeah.
Humble themselves to that. I mean, in this society has created this illusion of what you're calling, the alpha male.
Right.
This is an illusion. The society has created this false man construct
Right.
that has divided us as men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Feeling that we have to be independent and individual, and we cannot work together for the greater good and the greater collective of black people. We talk about the independent black woman, but we don't want to talk about the independent black man. The independent black man feels like he got to do it all himself. He can't work with his other brothers to build and establish nothing. He has to do it all himself and be, and be the man.
Right.
I.e. imitating white supremacy, the man. This is a culture that we learned from the white man. This is not something that is traditional or indigenous to us. We were always able to work together as a community to ensure the well-beingness of our community and our race. But now we've taken on the ways of our enemy now. And now what you have, what you call feudal lordships.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
You have what you call feudal lordship, where every man wants to be there. They want to be their own king.
Yeah.
And that's individualism. So they feel threatened and one who is among them may possess more knowledge, wisdom, intelligence, and anointing from the ancestors. They feel intimidated by that.
Mm-hmm.
They feel insecure by that.
Yeah.
They're threatened by that.
Right.
And that has to change.
Definitely.
If the ancestors has put one up in front and have raised one among us to lead and guide us out of white supremacy and out of the matrix, then it only behooves us to humble ourselves and follow and fall in alignment with that.
That's right.
It's not a time to prove ourselves as an individual or to be competitive. All this comes from white supremacy. It comes from capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Competing, being competitive and competing with one another while we at war.
Right.
While our enemy is attacking us, we wasting time trying to compete with each other and rival each other and all this type of stuff when we really should be working together for the upliftment of our race.
That's right.
But all your music videos, all your television, and all your entertainment is pushing individualism.
That's right.
It's pushing male egoism. All of it. So I understand where they got it from. It is a dominant aspect of this culture. This superficial idea of manhood that causes us to be divided and to be threatened by the power and the knowledge and wisdom of one another.
Right. Yeah, that's why I've been working very hard on coming up with a Black supremacy playlist that we can kind of follow through with, because I do realize the impact of the media and how it impacts our psyche, and I feel like it's a great opportunity to help those of us who really are serious about our awakening to have that access available, because some of us don't know how to get to that point. And if I were to use some suggestions on how to dive deeper into Black supremacy, especially if you're already sparked and inspired, I would say recirculate the content and let it kind of melt into the subconscious and the conscious of our minds, and that way it helps our deprogramming process a lot easier, and we can kind of awaken ourselves into a deeper, more divine reality.
You're teaching.
Yeah, so I definitely feel like that would help us. That's definitely a good option for us.
And we have to be sincere in our hearts with ourselves that we really want out of this matrix. We really want a new paradigm and a new reality. We have to be sincere. You know, it's not just for people to tell us or try to convince us, you know, or show us that they're about this life. They have to be sincere in their actual hearts and make that actual decision. If you're not sincere, none of the other shit it really don't matter how many videos they watch.
That's true.
You know,
that's real.
It doesn't matter how much I talk to them or don't talk to them. If they're not sincere, 99% of the work is sincerity on this particular path. That's 99% of the work. You know, with these other groups and organizations, you could be accepted. You know, you just have to pay dues. You just have to be accepted by others. You just have to be a part of the club. You know, not with Black supremacy. You really do have to be sincere, and it will show through your own life journey, the type of sacrifices that you're willing to make and the commitments that you are willing to make. It will show through your very life journey. You know, it's not about an organization or membership, card carrying members, none of that. You really have to be sincere. That's not to say that any and everybody cannot learn from the videos and learn from the messages, period. They can impact people at whatever place they are in their life. And its benefit beyond them wholeheartedly wanting to embark upon the path of KNBS, there's a benefit to all of the information. But the ultimate compensation, the ultimate benefit that they're going to get is out of a sincere heart to truly be devoted, not just information junkies, not trying to big up their own intelligence and their own ego, but truly sincere, I think those people will really embark upon the real path towards KNBS.
That's right. We have to start treating it like we've treated Sunday school and church and our Bibles. Like we have to think of it in that manner. I feel like that would also help too as well. So it's the mentality that we go into. I think that matters too as well.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Because the desire to really be awakened to a new paradigm and a new reality it's paramount. Some people are coming, they want to prove what they already know to be right.
Yeah.
They're coming into black supremacy, proving that what they already know before they came to black supremacy is right. They're trying to prove that they are right. That's not what this is about. You must be willing to embrace a new paradigm, a consciousness shift. It's like your house. It's like how you run your household. And you go grocery shopping. If you spend a certain amount of money, that it's going to give you the right amount of groceries.
Yeah.
So you already have a concept or a paradigm about what is right.
Right.
When you going into that grocery store. Black supremacy is saying you are abundantly rich. So everything you thought was right about going into that grocery store is actually wrong. Based on a new paradigm. That's what people don't understand about a paradigm shift. You shift your paradigm by willing to be wrong about everything you knew to open up your consciousness to something else.
Right.
That's beyond knowledge. Knowledge can be referenced. Knowledge can be accredited. A paradigm shift is something you must become empty to step into. It is a radical shift in consciousness. Right. It is not validated by anything before it. It can only be experienced by everything that comes after it. If you experiencing the same things that you experienced before your paradigm shift, if you looking at things the same way and you consider yourself to have a paradigm shift, you are fooling yourself.
Right.
Because it requires a radical shift in your consciousness to open your mind up to something else. We're saying infinite possibility, tapping into your unlimited potential and your unexhaustible creativity. That's what we're saying. But if you still perceive things in the same way, if you're trying to prove you was right before you woke up, if you're trying to prove what you was right about before you stepped into the paradigm shift, you have not woke up. You just turning over in your sleep. Just rolling around in the bed. You want to disprove. Watch this. When you truly awaken, you want to disprove every limited thought you had in your mind. You're on the path of self-disproval. You're not seeking approval. You want to disprove every limited thought you ever possessed in your mind. You want to transcend every boundary that was limiting you from tapping into your infinite power and your expanded consciousness. You want you want to go beyond every single boundary.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
So it's not the same thing as in the conscious community. I woke up, I know this, I know that, I know about chemtrails, I know about this, I know about veganism, I know about this, I know about that. No, it's different because that knowledge has not freed you. Yeah. There is no knowledge to tell you that if you jump off that building, that you're going to fly.
Right.
There's no knowledge that can tell you. Matter of fact, all knowledge will tell you that that is impossible, that human beings cannot fly. So you reach the limits of what knowledge can provide for you when you have a paradigm shift. Black supremacy is a paradigm shift. Not just knowledge, not just information, but a willingness to shift one's own paradigm into a realm, into a reality, into a dimension of Black divinity.
Right.
Of Black rulership, of Black reverence. And that's what a lot of people don't see. You know, that's going to be the biggest challenge for most people, is to let that old knowledge and that old information go. This is not a debate. You know, this is where you willingly lose the debate. This is where you choose to lose the debate. That's like somebody saying, you know what, you never played the lottery before, and somebody telling you won $1 million lottery ticket, and you're gonna stand there and debate them.
Yeah.
You said, I never played the lotto. I've never been to that corner store. I know I didn't play the lotto. You sitting up there debating. This is where you want to lose the debate. And say, you know what, maybe I did play that lottery and win that $1 million ticket.
Right.
Maybe nothing in my past can affect me from having bliss, ecstasy, and nirvana.
Yeah.
Maybe none of my perceptions about my life before I chose this paradigm shift are even relevant. Maybe, let me entertain that.
Right.
Maybe nothing that I've ever experienced or anything that I've went through, no matter how much negatively I perceive it, can hold me back. Let me entertain that.
Yeah.
Let me lose that debate.
Right.
So this is where you choose to lose the debate and lose the argument and win through experiencing something new by stepping into a new reality.
Yeah.
Nobody else is asking that. Nobody else is challenging anybody on that level to do that. They telling you, go look it up. I'm telling you, nothing that we have ever looked up or researched historically or referenced has freed us from white supremacy. We're not telling you to look it up.
Right.
We're asking you to completely change your consciousness. That's not to say that a lot of what we are saying is not verifiable. Much of it can be verified. Much of it can be researched. Much of it can be cross-referenced. But when you're going beyond limitations, like, for example, before the existence of the phone, there was nothing to reference or look up. Somebody had to entertain that you could communicate with people without wires. They had to have a paradigm shift to entertain the possibility that we could talk at being in two different locations and be able to speak to each other. They had to have a paradigm shift to entertain that. For a lot of people, when we talk about Black rulership and Black supremacy, that's hard for them to entertain. It's like, are you serious? They got weapons, they got bombs, they got armies, they got all the money, they got all the economy. They're literally going to need a paradigm shift to entertain Black rulership and Black divinity, because it's against everything they've been taught. They've been taught Black history, which is slavery, roots, watching slavery movies. They've been programmed with how powerful white people are and how powerful the system is, and you can't do it. This is how they have been programmed. So in order for them to even embrace the conversation that we're coming with, it's going to take a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
They're not going to go into that library and pick up the book that says Black supremacy is inevitable.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That's not at your library. If you Google it, if you Google Black supremacy, all type of crazy stuff start coming up, racism and all that, to show you that they actually control Google. They control the search engines, the algorithms. So some stuff requires you to have a paradigm shift.
That's right.
To really awaken and step into it. It's not going to come from referencing research, information, and any of this. It's not going to come from that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of debates Negroes going to have to start losing, because they're just regurgitating information. It's very cliche-ish. It's repetitive, and it has not freed us.
Right.
All our scholars have not freed us. You can mention all of them: John Henry Clark, Ivan Van Sertima. They have not freed us, but we have the information. The information about ancient Egypt and all our history, it has not freed us. But we quote it so well. We know it so well. We have libraries that are excessive. Like Khalid Muhammad said, we got everything on the wall, but we ain't got a goddamn thing on the ball. We don't got nothing. We have nothing going. So black supremacy requires the individual to have a paradigm shift. In order to do that, you have to be humble. You have to become empty. You have to literally kill your damn self. You have to become like nothing. Right. So that none of the old shit, none of the old tapes play and prevent you from completely waking up to a new reality. If you already know everything, this is not for you. If people come to me and say, I've done all this research and all this information and I've studied all this, this is not for you if you're trying to validate what you've already know, what you've already learned. Because if what you've already learned have not freed you, if it's not got you to where it is that you really truly trying to get to, then what value does that have?
Right.
That information is good for you to write your thesis paper and get your PhD.
Right. Yeah.
It's good for you to be accredited by scholars and to debate among some of the most intelligent. It's good for that. But when it comes to liberating your damn self in this wilderness of North America, that information is not doing nothing. If you want to sell tickets to a lecture, great. If you want to give long dissertations, great. If you want to show you studied your history, great. But when it comes to us actually establishing ourselves and establishing black rulership on this earth, that information is not getting it.
Right.
So we challenging people to have a paradigm shift and say, you know what? Let me entertain something that it might seem impossible. It might seem awkward, even weird.
Yeah, right.
But let me for a minute do that. Let me open my mind. What do I have to lose?
Right.
Let me step into something else. And that's going to be people's greatest challenge, to be sincere, to say, you know, do I want to let this old paradigm go? Because they was somebody in that old paradigm. You know, they was the hoodest person. They was the bad bitch. You know, they was the smartest person. You know,
right.
Some of them, they was the guru. They was the teacher. They was the counselor. They was this. They was somebody in the old paradigm. So are they willing to let that go? They willing to give up the role and the value, because some of them they live in a double life. When they talk to us, it's black supremacy, but when they talk to other people, they the hood dude.
Right. Yeah.
Scholar. You know, some of them they are Muslim, or so, you know, they the RBG dude or the off the grid dude.
Yeah.
They got multiple personalities. And it becomes a multiple personality disorder when it's not leading you to where it is that you're trying to go. They just want to be validated by many different circles.
Right.
Black supremacy won't be one of many circles that validate you. It will invalidate every other circle that you've been in. It will invalidate every other group and every other organization that you've been a part of. It will invalidate that. It will not validate that. You cannot do them all. You cannot wear every hat with this hat. This hat's so big you won't be able to fit another hat on.
Right.
So you will literally have to take off your hat to this. But are people going to let go of all the other roles that they play? And these other roles is beyond these different titles. Hebrew, Moor, trying to be all of them. It's beyond those titles. It's even beyond mother, father, son, cousin, nephew, niece. All of that becomes insignificant in a new paradigm.
Yeah.
You can't, your only identity that you have room to hold is the truth of black supremacy. That's your new identity.
Right.
Because if any of them other identities conflict with your unlimited potential and your inexhaustible creativity, there's a problem there. If any other identity conflicts with that, you have to be willing to let that go. That's a paradigm shift. That's not asking you to just go read some books, go study, go watch some videos. It's asking you, are you ready to have a complete paradigm shift?
Right.
It's like we're going to put you in this rocket and we're going to shoot you out in space and you might never see Earth again. All you're going to see is the blackness of space once you get in this rocket ship. How many people going to look back and be like, well, I don't know about that. Shit, I don't know about that. You mean I ain't going to be able to see none of that no more? None of it. Most people are going to be, they're not going to make that, what I'm calling a quantum leap. It's a quantum leap. So that's the difference between what black supremacy is challenging people to do with other groups. It's like most people don't want to have a paradigm shift. They want to be right about what they've been right about.
Yeah.
They just want to prove how much they've studied, what they supposed to already know, and who they are. It's not.
Right.
See, it's not that we're disproving who you are. We are exposing you to how expansive you are.
Yeah.
It's not about us being brighter than you. It's about all of us tapping into our unlimited reality together, our unlimited power together. You follow? So we all must have that. It's not the individual versus black supremacy, or it's not a contest between the individual and black supremacy. It's a challenge on all of us to continue to stir the energy. It's a challenge on all of us to keep entertaining, to keep opening our minds constantly.
Constantly, that's right.
That's the new paradigm. Constantly expanding your mind. That's the new paradigm. And you can't constantly expand your mind if you are attached to truth.
Right.
This about to hurt a lot of people. I will sit up here and say there is no truth. And if you think that it is true, it is your prison.
I can definitely see that.
There is no truth. There are only truths. Listen to me. There is no truth, but there are truths. And truths are relative to where you are going.
Right. Yep.
If you're going to Chicago, you coming from Atlanta, it is true that going north is the direction that you need to be going. That is a truth. But if you heading towards Florida, if you really want to go to Florida, then that's not truth. So truth is relative. There's no truth. There are truths. And you got to ask you, is your truth, is what you calling your truth getting you into the direction that you want to go in? Because some people, their truth is their prison. Their truth is their depression.
Right.
Their truth is their sadness. Their truth is their nightmare. Their truth is their torture. And somebody come and tell them, you know what, that might not be true.
Right.
Are they going to let that go? Or is their desire to be attached to that truth going to be their perpetual prison?
Yeah. That's real.
So this whole thing, and this is truth, and I got the truth. No. This is an infinite universe that is multidimensional. And when you talk about truth, you're talking about a program. That's somebody's program.
Right.
Oh, this is truth. No, that's your truth. That has you in the box that you're in. That's your truth that has you in the box that you're in. Are you happy in that box?
Yeah.
You know, that's not my truth. It's one of your truths in the direction that you're going in. So when people come to you with this is the truth, like this is like it's a religion, this is the prison that they living in.
Right.
We existing in a state of perpetual open-mindedness. What is perpetual open-mindedness? You can navigate your situation at any moment in time. You can navigate. You remain in the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear me? So that takes a perpetual open-mindedness in this paradigm shift. Because I might say, you know what? Somebody might come to me and say, you know what? We can take over. Like, you know what? That's actually impossible. But hold up. Let me entertain that.
Yeah, give it a chance.
We can take over the United States. Let me entertain that. Well, no, I'm about to come with my truth. And my truth is, you know, we can't do that. So people's truths are their boxes. And people that are searching for the truth is actually prison shopping. It's shopping for the perfect prison for themselves.
Right. Wow. That's deep.
Because once they get to that truth, you ain't going to be able to tell them nothing. You ain't going to be able to tell their ass nothing, man. So we can't even now, these people that so-called so awake and so conscious and know the truth and all that, we can't even have a dialogue with them. We cannot even have an open dialogue with people anymore. To actually have an open-minded conversation where we exchange ideas in order to expand each other's mind. We can't even do that anymore because of the truth. Because of the truth.
Right.
I listened to Leola Africa. You know, he just made his transition. You know, a healer. And I watched the video he made before he made his transition. And he was talking about the alkaline diet. And he was talking about mucus and how Dr. Sebi, you know, said that mucus is bad for you. And then Leola Africa was talking about how, you know, mucus is, the body needs a certain amount of mucus because mucus is a part of the immune system. It transports things throughout the body.
That's a different perspective. Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Mucus is a transportation system in the body. And that you need acid in your body as well. They say, you know, you want to become alkaline, you don't want no acid, but you need a certain level of acidity that aids in digestion. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mucus also goes into the cartilage and into the bones development within the body. I say interesting. That's kind of deep. Now somebody would say, well, you know, that's not the truth.
Right.
This is what I heard, and then they'll be debating back and forth and saying, "This is just not the truth. This is the truth." There are truths, and you could be at a point in your life where you could benefit from what Dr. Sebi has to offer, and you could be at a point in your life where you could benefit from what Dr. Leola Africa have to offer. But if you caught up on truth, you're not in a position where you can benefit from whatever is there, whatever shows up for you.
Yeah, you're blocking the infinite.
Come on.
Yeah. Yep.
So, because you really want to learn from wherever you can learn from, but your focus should be on what paradigm you are establishing. And if some truth blocks the direction that you're trying to go in, then you have to be willing to go beyond that truth. People say it all the time. Some people tell them that, that you was only supposed to, a doctor tell them you was only supposed to live, for 5 years, or you only had 8 more months to live.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't accept that as the truth if you had any true wisdom, any true enlightenment.
Right.
But that's based on science, scientific research, statistics, probability. But you damn sure ain't gonna accept it.
Yeah.
So that approach must be applied to every aspect of your life.
Mm-hmm.
We must escape the truth prison. It's the number one. It takes away. It's the number one joy killer.
Right. Sure is. Because it gives too much room for us to deny our own divine intuition too.
Come on.
Yeah.
You cannot escape. Once it's the truth, you cannot escape. You should always give yourself an escape.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely.
Come on. You should always have an escape into your unlimited self. So that's where we're going into this paradigm shift. So this paradigm shift is not a new prison.
Right.
It's entering into an unlimited reality where we can constantly remind ourselves of how infinite we are. That's the new paradigm. Can you entertain that? In the new paradigm, we're gonna constantly remind ourselves of how infinite we are. Period.
Yeah.
That's the only truth. That we infinite beings.
Right. What we're trying to build.
And if being limited could help us in a certain situation, we need to throw that away temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
That's the new paradigm. So what I'm saying is, with black supremacy, we challenging people who sincerely want to have a paradigm shift.
That's right.
If they don't want to shift their reality from the matrix, and it's not a physical place. A lot of people say, well, I want to move, I want to do this. It's not physical.
Right.
You ain't going nowhere.
Because you'll go back to the same spot eventually, especially if your mind's there.
Come on. That's it. That's one thing we have to understand. You're not going nowhere. You ain't went nowhere. You still in the same place you were. How do we transform that space that you're at? That is awakening. That is enlightenment. It's not going somewhere. It's not going to Tibet.
Right.
It's not going to the Taj Mahal. It's not going to Singapore or Mecca. You're not going nowhere. Wherever you go, there you are.